Well, the next important phase is really to bring some structure. We've got those lists and we've got 10 or 20 notebooks, we've got them all there. We've got to actually bring some order to it so it's useful to us. So you can work chronologically or work thematically. It depends pretty much upon the type of memoir that you're going to write. Myself, I prefer to work chronologically. I find that that's easier for me to order things start to finish and then go, oh, there's a bit of a gap here. You know, what happened then? Maybe a few too many beers. One approach is to go through your notebooks and make a simple table, and I'll give you an example in a minute, on a fairly large piece of paper, and you might need to do several of them. You know, obviously not going to cover a lifetime on one piece of paper, but you know, pick an event or some manageable area and look through your notebooks and try and bring those things into a table. This is an example of a place that I lived, and it's an example of what I did when going through some old photographs, photographs are a great aid memoir if they are available to you. So I'm looking through the box and seeing what might be connected. Now, on the left is the rear of a cottage that I lived in. It was built in 1760. On the right was the view through the front window of my bedroom looking out at the barley fields. A couple of photos. On the left is a group of people, friends. I'm in there somewhere. I'm not going to tell you which one it was because I probably didn't look all that handsome at that time. But we were all having a barbecue to celebrate a friend going back home. And on the right was the pub, which was about 6 steps outside my door, which was very handy on a hot summer's day. Here are the two contrasts. That's the barley stubble being burnt in the field across the road. And on the right was one of the worst winters in 50 years. That's you know, something like 2.5 feet of snow in my backyard. Now, what I've done here is to put a list together to chronologically. Obviously, I haven't done an extensive thing, but you can see what I'm trying to do here. So here I'm saying, okay, the picture of all the people together. This is where we had a farewell barbecue for Audrey, and here were the people. Now, I haven't listed them all, but you obviously list as many people as you can. Now, interestingly enough, I knew those people well, but there are people in that photograph I can't remember. So if you take photographs and you print photographs or you have photographs, try and get the people that know who's in those photographs to write in pencil, preferably a 2B or a soft leaded pencil, who they are left to right on the back. Because there's no point in keeping a photograph if you don't know who the picture of that person is. So what I've done is I've organised it together. I've said, okay, that's the burning of the barley stubble. Here's the worst snowstorm in 50 years. So, excuse me, just trying to go through and see what gaps. I mean, there's obviously gaps. There's, you know, a huge gap. There's a whole year gone by, and that was an important part of my life. There are other gaps that need to be filled in there. This is another way of doing it. This is called clustering. So in this method here, you write a theme or something, the centre of the subject, and then surround it with little word balloons, if you like, of things. So here I've got, okay, the windows froze on the inside. So that was that window like that. I remember waking up in the morning and there was 2 or 3 millimetres of ice on the inside of the window. Places built in 1760 might be picturesque, but they're very cold in winter. Worst snowstorm in 50 years. The squirrels got all the walnuts. Blasted squirrels had a lovely walnut tree with heaps of walnuts on it. The little devils got them all. So here we have also the burning of the barley. the heat was so strong it blistered the paint on the cottage, because as that barley got closer, just like in a bushfire, it blistered the cottage. During the barbecue, I put here a note, the Poms didn't know what a barbecue was. They hadn't had a barbecue or a proper barbecue at that time. One of them turned up with high heel shoes. I can still see her going like this as she walked across the lawn, because I said, wouldn't you want to take them off? And she said, no, well, I always wear high heels. Okay, each to their own. I remember going to that pub with jugs out of my own kitchen to fill up with beer and bring across the fresh cask beer for the barbecue. So this is one way of, you've got your lists together, and then you look at your lists, you find a central theme, and you start to build up a pattern around that. So you can use the chronological thing to find the gaps and to organise things. You can also use this to organise things. And it's amazing how things start coming together and how you can see the gaps that are missing. Always come back to the questions, what is the story that I want to write? What are the emerging themes? As you go through it, you might find a particular theme. How do those themes fit into my story? You might end up writing a story that you didn't intend to write. In fact, a lot of people do. Because as they go through the exercise, different things emerge and some things become stronger. There seems to be a thread running through their memoir that may not necessarily be something that they thought about originally. Think about how those themes move the story forward. We'll certainly be coming to talk about how to move the story, how to structure your story and move it on. But some of those things that you uncover may not be strong enough to actually move the story forward. Some of the things you thought about, they might be something that adds colour, and something else you hadn't thought about comes out and gives you that really strong thing. You go, oh yeah, wow, why didn't I think about that before? That's really important to me. It's important to the story that I want to write. And you may need to dig a little bit deeper to uncover the story that you want to tell. The themes may not pop out to you just like that. Read through your lists, look at your clusters and identify your major themes. Now this is only a short list, but you get the idea. Family, love, perseverance, adventure, work, travel, and I could add misadventure, triumph, success, failure, success come again, all those sorts of things. Look for sub-themes. Discard, but don't throw away the items on your list that don't fit or move your story forward. And I say don't throw them away, because you might need them later to colour something or to add in something, or something else might pop up. But if they're not moving it forward, chances are you're not going to use it. Enhance your story's readability by using an umbrella theme. So, it might be something, well, it might be, it depends on what you're writing, but if you're writing about your work, it might be some overarching theme in that. Or if you're writing about family, it might be love and connection. You have to look to see what the joining, what the underlying themes are that provide those connections to bring you to it. Using your theme is largely dependent upon your motivation for writing your particular story. And you should write a brief schematic of your story, beginning, middle, end, just to know where you're heading to, and just sections, just sort of think about how those themes move things along. And once you've done that, congratulations, you have the beginnings of a storyline. So recapping the structure, refine your lists, make a chronological summary, use clustering to group subjects and find themes, identify your main themes, and produce a plan for your story structure.